We sit down with the Horizon League Co-Offensive Player of the Week.
While football cruises past Robert Morris.
All this and more on the Penguin Rundown. What's up, Penguin Nation? I'm Lincoln Williams alongside the colorful John Schiraldi.
I'm not really that colorful. We're red or black every single week with the tie.
That tie is colorful.
I heard you say how much you liked my Penguin ties, so I got a new one for you. This one's a couple less Penguins. Again, guys, I asked for the one shot. My director's not letting it happen, so take that up with him.
Thank you, Corey.
But another fantastic Penguin tie brought to you by Rick Schiraldi. Thanks, Pops.
Just burn every one of them. But we're not going to talk about your tie today. We're going to talk about some women's soccer.
Of course.
Let's talk about it.
The soccer team was back in action this past weekend. Friday, the Gwins opened up Horizon League play, hosting the defending champion Golden Grizzlies of Oakland. A hard-fought game that was scoreless until the 75th minute, but a couple of late goals gave Oakland the 3-0 win. Sunday, the Gwins dropped another 3-0 decision to the Cincinnati Bearcats. But a silver lining for the Gwins? Katie Montgomery, the senior, had 18 saves over the weekend, bringing her season total to 54 and moving her into 9th on the all-time YSU saves list. Montgomery now has 152 career saves and needs just 13 more to move past Sarah Fenma for 8th on the all-time list. Mike Yurstowski caught up with the senior to get her take on this milestone and the season thus far.
Moving up on the all-time saves list really to me has never been a concern. I didn't even know that I was anywhere close to going up that high until recently, till this weekend. In a way, I'm almost bothered by it because it means that I'm seeing more action than I would like to see back there. But I guess it's, there's always positives with negatives. Although I'm hoping that it sounds backwards, but I hope that I have less saves because I need to do less. I hope my team, we keep playing strong. And I think the first half we had against Oakland was the best half we have had in this entire season as a team, if not ever. So I'm hoping that the ball stays more on their side of the field than ours. So in that way, I hope I stop climbing. But if I have to, obviously, I make more saves.
Taking a look at the Penguins' schedule, as I mentioned, Friday the Gwins opened up Horizon League play with Oakland. YSU will close out the year with 8 straight Horizon League games. You can catch them in action next this Saturday as they travel to Illinois to take on UIC at 8 p.m.
Congratulations, Katie, on your accomplishment. But let's talk about some volleyball. The volleyball team participated in the Flyer Classic this past weekend at the University of Dayton. The Gwins dropped all 3 of their matches, losing to Southern Illinois, University of Dayton, and Loyola Marymount. There was a bright spot, though. The Gwins' Lori Van Beek totaled 35 kills throughout the 3 matches. Margot Warrens caught up with Lori this week and got an inside scoop on her impressive season.
We know that you have played elsewhere, so tell us what brought you here to YSU.
Well, I actually transferred here from Parkland College in Champaign, Illinois. I've always wanted to play at a D1 school, and there were other D1 offers, but I thought YSU was like the main one that I was really interested in. When I came here on my visit, the girls were super nice and fun to hang out with, and I had really good coaching at my last school, and I thought Coach Hardaway would be a good new coach. And the school also had journalism compared to my other offers, so that's why I chose YSU.
Well, that's great to hear.
Taking a closer look at Lori Van Beek's season, the senior has 182 kills through 14 matches and is averaging 3.5 kills per set. She also ranks in the top 5 in the Horizon League in hitting percentage, kills, and blocks. The Gwins will kick off conference play this weekend, September 24th and 25th, at home against Oakland and Cleveland State. Both matches are set for 4 p.m. Be sure to head down to Bigley Center to support your team.
The football team returned home this past Saturday to host the Colonials of Robert Morris. Let's take a look at the game. Getting ready to go before the game. The senior making sure his troops are ready to fire on all cylinders. A rainy day at Stambaugh Stadium. Scattered thunderstorms delayed the game for an hour. Nonetheless, a day the Gwins dominated from the word go. Here, Trent Hosick finds Martin Ruiz on the right sideline for a 21-yard touchdown to get an early 7-0 lead in the first quarter. We'll pick things up with 4 minutes left in the first, where Martin Ruiz again, this time a 14-yard scamper up the middle, finds pay dirt to give his team the 14-0 advantage. Then the Mooney product Zach Kennedy bangs the 37-yarder just before half to give his team the 17-0 advantage. We pick things back up in the third quarter as Trent Hosick finds the big man Kevin Rader streaking down the middle of the field. Number 83 on the field, but number 1 in your heart. This is a Penguin Play of the Week nominee. Robert Morris not to be outdone as Sam Woods finds Eldon Monroe for the halfback pass, a 52-yard touchdown. The Colonials' only score of the day, making the score 24-6. But here, the story of the afternoon, Savon Smith and that YSU defense just dominating the Colonials all day long. The Gwins roll 38-6, but head coach Bo Pelini wasn't exactly thrilled with his team's performance.
We did some good things at times in the game. At times we didn't play very well. We weren't efficient enough. I didn't think we played very well offensively. I thought we took a step back in some areas on special teams. We played sloppy, and you know, so I wasn't real happy with the effort. It's not about Robert Morris. It's about us and us preparing to play the way we're capable of playing. Well, we try to stay real consistent in how we are, what our approach is.
Taking a closer look at Martin Ruiz's performance, the senior ran the ball 16 times for 165 yards and 3 touchdowns, moving him to 8th on the all-time YSU rushing touchdown list. Ruiz needs just 2 more touchdowns to pass standout Marcus Mason for 7th on the all-time list. I'm now joined by my colleague Mike Yerstowski. Mike, I didn't think I was going to have to deal with you today.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing you are, because I'm pleasantly surprised to be here, and it's nice to see your face on this Wednesday.
Your hair is looking phenomenal, my friend.
It's actually a surprise it's looking this good, because we woke up, as you know, at 5 in the morning today to cover the basketball team's boot week. So it's been a little messy. I'm a little tired, but hey, it's looking good, and I'm ready to go.
Thank you for saying something about my tie. I really appreciate it. But getting back to the matter at hand, a 38-6 victory for the Gwins this past Saturday against Robert Morris.
Yeah.
Mike, what are your takeaways for head coach Bo Pelini?
Well, I think overall, you look at the numbers and you think YSU dominated from the kickoff. You look at their numbers, they held Robert Morris to -13 rushing yards, only 116 passing yards. The defense had 7 sacks. So you see YSU dominated the game, and that's what they should have done. But when you hear Coach Pelini's comments, you see that he wasn't pleased. A little bit of sloppy play, whether that was because of the weather, as you said, an 1-hour-and-6 delay because of rain and lightning, or honestly, they know what Robert Morris was about. They knew Robert Morris only scored 1 offensive touchdown all season, and it was the week 1, the opening kickoff. Then they had 16 passing yards in week 2. So they knew what Robert Morris was, so they maybe played a little bit down to their competition, but that's definitely something Coach Pelini's going to have fixed heading into week 4 here.
And Mike, really, that's sometimes something that's inevitable, really, when you go and play an opponent of West Virginia's caliber and then turn around and face someone that's struggling like Robert Morris. It's inevitable that your players have that subconscious letdown of, I think we got this one no matter what.
Absolutely, and that's human nature, but, you know, as we said, Coach Pelini will have that fixed.
Sure. So bye week, as we talked about, no game for the Penguins this Saturday. If you're head coach Bo Pelini, what are you making sure you guys shore up in practice?
I think, first of all, they're going to have to work on their technique, and that's something Coach Pelini stressed in his post-game press conference. Get back to fundamentals and really do things that YSU can control and excel at those. When you talk about the West Virginia game, they had opportunities but kind of bit their own foot, whether it was a drop pass or a drop interception in the end zone or just miscommunication on penalties, run blocking, things like that. So I think getting back to the basics is going to be the key for the bye week this week to help them for conference play.
No doubt. Mike, the Penguins will be in action next October 1st as they host the University of South Dakota, really opening up that Missouri Valley Football Conference part of the schedule. What do the Gwins need to make sure they're doing heading into conference play?
I think, first of all, you're going to see this team get healthy. And I think that's the #1 question, is whether this team can get healthy heading into conference play. Talk about quarterback Ricky Davis. He was out last week. Jody Webb was also out. You have Eric Thompson coming back. Also, offensive lineman Brock Eisenhuth is back. So this team needs their playmakers back, and I think you're going to have that heading into conference play. But overall, this team just needs to be true to themselves. Do what YSU football is about, and that's run the football with Jody Webb, Martin Ruiz, and Tevin McCaster, and then play physical, solid defense, because that's what's going to win you football games in this conference. The Missouri Valley Football Conference is no joke, and we know that, with North Dakota State beating Iowa last week. Illinois State's beat a Big Ten team in Northwestern this year. Northern Iowa's beaten Iowa State. So this is the conference that's filled with loaded teams, and I think if you're in the top 4 at the end of the year in this conference, you got a great chance of making the FCS playoffs. I think YSU has a great chance of being the top 4 and even #1 in this conference when it comes, at the end in November.
Mike, my friend, always a pleasure. We thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
As I mentioned, the Penguins now move to 2-1 on the season, but will be idle this week before opening conference play against South Dakota Saturday, October 1st at the Ice Castle. Now, just a reminder, this game will be the annual Hall of Fame game and a redout, so be sure to wear your red. Head down to Stan Boss Stadium to support your team. Kickoff set for 4 p.m.
Cross-country team was back in action last Friday at the UB Stampede Invitational. Ryan Sullivan led the way, finishing first overall. Nearly 10 seconds ahead of the second-place finisher, this is Sullivan's second tournament win of his career, which earned him the Horizon League Runner of the Week honors. For the women, Mackenzie Klum finished 10th overall. The cross-country team will next participate in the Joe Piani Notre Dame Invitational on September 30th.
Heading over to the links, the men's golf team was back in action this past weekend at the Eastern Kentucky Invitational. The Penguins carded an 887 over 3 rounds, and leading the way once again was Dom Carreno, as he carded a 218 and placed 41st. The Penguins are in action next on September 25th and 26th at the Northern Kentucky Collegiate Classic in Batavia, Ohio.
Let's talk about some women's tennis. The women's tennis team, the defending champs, open up their schedule this Friday at the Akron Invitational. The team has won the last 3 Horizon League championships and are looking to keep the momentum going into this upcoming season. Returning 2 seniors, both Dominika Lakova and Nahel Sahani, who were major contributors all last season. Dominika was named Horizon League Player of the Year, and Nahel led the team in victories. For news on the women's team, go to ysusports.com. Let's talk about some men's tennis. The team opened up their fall schedule this past weekend at the River Forest Invitational. The team found success throughout the tournament. Senior Mitch Murrisher and freshman Joe Guerrero were awarded 3rd place in the #1 and #2 men's single matches. Big day for Thomas Rodriguez. The freshman won all 3 of his matches in single competition. Our very own Chris Colella caught up with Thomas following Saturday's match.
Tomas, great start to your YSU career, 3 wins this past weekend. How does it feel to start your career off like that?
Very incredible for me, win my first 3 match. I don't expect this. I'm very happy. I play very good tennis this past week, and I'm very happy for that.
Well, and then with that, what's been the biggest adjustment coming to YSU and playing at this level of tennis?
The biggest adjustment, the tennis, the game here is not the same as in French. Here you have to put all the ball in all the time. The points are very long, not as in French. So it's very hard for me. I don't have. It's not my game, but I think I have a different game between. As other player in tennis college, because I'm from another country, I think it's a good point for me. And
the men will be back in action on September 30th when they travel to the Toledo Invitational.
And now it's time for everyone's favorite part of the show, the Penguin Play of the Week. Let's take a look at the film here. We talked about it earlier in the show. This week's Penguin Play goes out to Kevin Rader. The big man catches the 27-yard touchdown pass from Trent Hosick, streaking down the middle of the field, splitting the defense, and giving his team the 24-0 advantage en route to a 38-6 victory for the Gwins. Congratulations, Kevin and Trent, for the Penguin Play of the Week. Well, that about does it for us here at the Penguin Rundown, my friends. For news, highlights, and more, be sure to check out YSUSports.com and be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook at Penguin Rundown 1. I'm John Schiraldi.
And I'm Lincoln Williams. We'll see you next time, guys.